All right, guys, real quick. I'm finally getting around to updating this tutorial video. The last one I did was like 3 years ago. So a few things for you new writers that have not used WordPress at all. When you first log in, this is your dashboard. Before you do any writing, if you could do me a favor and just go down to where it says users, it actually might just say your profile on your screen because you don't have the ability to add users. So go to your profile and just obviously make sure this is all correct. It should be because I entered it in and you got the email. So just make sure it's all right. There's two places on here where you want to enter your Twitter handle. One of them is here. This one basically will add your Twitter handle to your author box, which comes at the end of the every article you write. It'll have your Twitter handle, your bio, and preferably a picture of you. So enter your Twitter handle there. Here's your bio. So you're going to just enter a little bit about yourself, how long you've been playing fantasy or where else you write, etc., etc. Upload a profile picture here. I think you have to do it through Gravatar, which click on the link that's there. It'll take you to everything you got to do to get a picture added to your profile. In the second place, you're going to want to enter your Twitter handle. It's going to be here in this box. Now, I didn't add mine only because mine links it automatically. But you're going to click on tweet my post with @reference to my username. You click on that, and then you're going to add your username right here. So I'm just going to add mine real quick. And what this does, this is the WP to Twitter. Basically, every time you post an article, it's going to tweet out 3 separate automated tweets. It'll tweet out one when you post, one 4 hours later, and then one 4 hours after that. And it uses this tag to tag your account. It goes through my account, but it tags your account so you can go through and retweet it, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't change this, it'll actually list me as the writer. So you don't want to do that. So make sure you put your Twitter handle there. And then also down here at the bottom where it says PayPal email address, if you want to get paid, put your PayPal account here. So when I pay out, it'll go to the right place. All right, so after you've done that, I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to click back. And we're going to go to posts, and we're going to go to add new. This is where you can do all your writing. If you're on a mobile device or on a small screen, it's very confusing, but this templates down here has the same type of icon. People have used that a couple times to write a whole article, and then I can never find it until I go to templates. Make sure you're not under templates. Make sure you're under posts. So we go here, we go to add new. All right, so this is the new WordPress with blocks. Some of y'all are familiar with the old WordPress style, and if you want to continue to use that, there is an option. I got to find it here somewhere. Might be over here somewhere. We'll look for that later. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but there is an option. It's a checkbox to go back to the old system if you want to use the old system. But this is the new system, and you'll see, I think, that it's got a lot more features. If you want to get creative with it, you got a lot more ability to do so here. So obviously, title, you're just going to add your title. This is your body right here. You're just going to write your paragraphs, and every time you hit enter, it creates a new block. See, this is a block. And then if I hit enter and type something here, that is now created as a new block, and so on and so forth. Each block, you can do different things too. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Title, start writing your content, etc., etc. So adding pictures, adding images, there's 2 ways to do this. There's the easy way, and there's a little bit of a harder way, but you add a little bit more options the harder way. So you click on this plus sign right here. It brings up your most used, which this will be kind of dynamic. As you click on different things throughout, writing, it'll actually update based on what you actually most used. But this is what it's set as the default. So obviously you go to image, and you got a couple options here. You have upload, media library, or insert from URL. The easiest 2 are just to upload or media library. Typically I do upload because trying to find something in the media library is almost impossible. So if you go to upload, it's going to bring up your screen here where you can go find your pictures. Most of mine are under downloads. I'm just going to click the most recent one on here and give it a few seconds to upload. All right, well, we're going to continue on because it's taking forever to upload. Let me go ahead and show you how to add another image. It's a little bit easier way this way. This is using Getty Images. A lot of y'all don't use this, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually use, because this image here, I had to go to Google separately, do a search, try to find an image that I wanted, download it to my computer, and then of course drag and drop it into my article, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But if you go to here, and it's not in most used yet, but if you go to, I believe it's under embeds. Yep, here it is. So Getty Images, you're going to click on that. You're going to go select image, and you're going to select this option over here. Make sure you select the little disclaimer right there. Click on the box, and now you're going to have access to all of Getty Images that you can possibly think of. Typically, I check the horizontal, because I want pictures that are horizontal in my articles now. You can go to best matched. I usually click on most popular, and then you just type in a player's name right here in the search field. There is one little quick trick I'll show you, because it's gonna, if I type that, you see I didn't take the space. Sometimes you have to go back and type the space again. I don't know why it does that. It's some kind of flaw in the system, but just make sure your name is spaced out. Click enter, and boom, you got a whole bunch of images right here inside WordPress you can choose from. You select this one right here. You have your options over here to align it to the left, align it to the right, align it to the center. I typically leave it as none. The only trick is here that you can't leave it at full size. Full size is a paid feature, so you can change it to scale down if you're going to keep it on its line by itself. If you're going to do it justified left or justified right, you can go down even further and make it smaller so it fits on a mobile screen. But usually I just do this one right here. Click insert into post, and give it a few seconds and it should upload here, hopefully. Come on. Let me try saving it and see if it shows up. Typically it'll show up right away, but for some reason this image is not working. Let me go see if it actually showed up. There we go. All right, so it's actually there. It's just not showing up in my screen here, which is fine. As long as it shows up on the preview button, you're good to go. So yeah, that's how you add images. Two different ways to do it. Couple other options that are under here that I actually just started using, that I've done it the hard way before. But if you go under embeds again, you can add Twitter handle. Really simple. Before I used to have to go in and look up the URL and type all that in and pain in the butt. You can add to Facebook. You can add Instagram. You can do an embed. Before you had to actually highlight the text, highlight the URL, and add the link. Now you can literally just go to embed, put your URL right there, boom, you've already got it. And this can be an embed of a YouTube video. It can be an embed of a link that you want to put in your article. It could be, anything really. So that's much easier than it was before to use that feature. Let's see what else. Let's go over and show categories and tags. So typically it's defaulted on block. This is your options of each block. I don't do a whole lot over here. I leave most of it default. But if you go to document, this is where you can get most of your SEO type stuff. Categories. Typically, most of you are you're all going to use featured. No matter what you're writing, make sure you click on featured. That puts your article at the very top of the home page. So make sure you always check that one. And then you're also going to usually select, most of y'all are going to select the fantasy parent topic right here. You're going to have fantasy, click on that. And then most of y'all are also going to be using the NFL season long. After that, you can look under here and see if anything else fits. I don't want you to select too many of these, but if there's one that fits, if you're doing a buy low, sell high, if you're doing a bounce back, a couple different ones. If you're doing dynasty, obviously check on that one. So yeah, probably mostly about two of these of the subtitles. And if you use any of the subtitles, make sure you always use the parent title as well, all the way up to the top. So make sure it ends up in the right places. There is some standalone sport things here, NBA, NFL. Don't use those if you're doing fantasy. The only time I want you to use these if you're doing some kind of editorial or any just regular type sports articles. This is reserved just for those. So don't use those if you're doing fantasy. Just stick to the fantasy and NFL season long. All right, so that's your categories. Tags are basically keywords. You're just going to put whatever you want in here that's relevant to your article. Players' names. Fantasy football obviously is a big one. Anything that people are going to search for that will get to your article. If you're doing a 2020 Dynasty PPR rankings, you can do a string like that because that's actually going to be Google searchable, and so on and so forth. So that's going to add tags. There's really no limit to how many tags you can put in there as long as they are relevant to your content. If they show up, if that string, for example, shows up in your title or somewhere in your body, it actually helps your ranking because it's showing up in your tags. It'll show up in your article and in your title. So that's also a good thing to try to get that in. So that's your tags. Featured image. This is pretty important because for a few reasons. One is if you don't put it there on the home page, there won't be an image. It'll just be a gray box, which looks kind of ugly. So a featured image, click on that. Unfortunately, you cannot use Getty Images to add a featured image. They were never able to figure out how to do that. But obviously, you click on featured image, it brings up your media library. If you got a download folder like I do, find a picture, just drag it, boom, drop it in there. If you can't drag and drop, you can always just click upload files, do it old school style like that. So that gives your featured image. You always want to try to select an image that is wide. I know they all look square here, but if you click on it, it will show it in a wide format. Wide format just looks better on the home page. So we're just going to go with this as a featured image. We're going to select that one. You'll see it shows up right there. Don't worry about the at least this size. As long as it's, you know, a high definition picture, it should look fine. Excerpt, don't worry about it. Discussion, don't worry about it. WP to Twitter. If you want to learn how to use this, just DM me, let me know. I can tell you how to do it, how you can customize it. But I have it defaulted to a few different things. Basically, the template says check out the latest from, and this hashtag account hashtag, put your Twitter handle in there. So it'll say check out the latest from Twitter handle, and then this hashtag title hashtag puts whatever the title of your article is. Hashtag URL hashtag put your URL obviously, and then I have the hashtag GF2 at the end. But if you want to learn how to do this to sort of create custom tweets, you can definitely do that. I'll tell you how to do it. Let's see, featured video, featured audio. We won't use that too often. All right, so there is one more thing that we got to make sure we do, and it changed a little bit if you're used to the old system. So typically before you'd add your featured image, you click save as draft, and then your image would show up in your social settings, which we'll get down here at the bottom. So all the way down at the bottom here, you have your SEO box right here. So this is your all-in-one SEO box. I used to have y'all go through and do the title and a description and keywords and all that, but the system now sets it up that it does it for you. It actually puts whatever you put as your tags, it'll put as your keywords automatically. It'll add your title automatically. Description, if you want to add a better description, it takes the first few lines of your article, but if you want to change that, you're more than welcome to put whatever you want in there. Just keep in mind it's searchable for Google. This is how it'll look on Google when they do find it. So if you put keywords in your description or keywords in your title, those all are things that'll help your article get found. But going back to the social settings, so this basically is the image that's going to show up when you post it on Facebook or Twitter. So very important that we have an image. If you do not put an image, this will be the default logo right there, which, I mean, it's my logo, it's great, but when you post that 100 times and the article looks exactly the same as every other one you post, it gets kind of boring. So you want to have different images within there. So in the past, if you hit save draft, whatever images you had in your article or in your featured image would automatically show up right here. For some reason in the new system that does not work. So instead you got to do this. You click upload image here. Brings you to your media library. You would just select whatever featured image you want it to have as your main image. Click choose image and then save as draft. And then now it's in there. Once you post that to Facebook or Twitter or any of those places, that it's going to give you that sort of dynamic picture. This will be your main picture that'll show up. I think that's pretty much it. There are a few more advanced things that we can get to once I've gotten used to this. I'm still getting used to it myself. And then obviously when you get used to it and you want to learn a little bit more about SEO and how to make things better, there are different ways that you can do things to images to make your article show up better. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, obviously you can always hit me up on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you talk to me at through email. That's it.